So I went to a Stacey Abrams campaign event geared specifically towards black men. Let's talk about why she was doing the event, how it went, and what could come from it. My name is Joseph, and this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in context. If anything I say sounds interesting and you want to read more, links to all my sources will be right below that like button. First, let's talk about why gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams is doing a campaign event geared specifically towards black men. I mean, with less than 60 days to the start of early voting, time is the most precious resource. On the podcast Pod Save America, Abrams said black men have a, quote, remarkable power to swing an election, and, quote, if black men vote for me, I'll win Georgia. Now, this group is crucial to her election, and she's either underperforming or significantly trailing with both intersections of this identity. According to our AJC poll, she's at about 80% with black voters and 33% with male voters. Abrams needs to be above 90% with black voters to likely secure a win in November. So, in an attempt to improve both of these metrics, Abrams is hitting the campaign trail with events targeted at these groups. Which brings us to her panel discussion with media personality Charlamagne the God, rapper 21 Savage, and civil rights attorney Dr. Francis Johnson on September 9th. The event took place at the HBUC, which stands for the Historically Black University of Creatives and is a hub for black art in the city of Atlanta. So to set the scene, there was a line wrapped around the corner. Her campaign manager said about 700 people RSVP'd, a DJ was playing music, there was a food truck near the entrance, and there was free Abrams campaign merchandise. Now, before things officially got underway, press were allowed to ask her questions. Recently, her campaign aired ads saying she would pay law enforcement more if she were to win the governor's mansion. I asked her if she thought this stance had any effect on her polling with the black community and black men in particular. Abrams said, quote, what I've said is always going to be true. We deserve the same protection other communities deserve. But we also have to require accountability. And what Brian Kemp is lying about is you have to choose between either support or accountability. I know we deserve both. I've got two brothers, one who's been in and out of the carceral system and a brother who's helped keep people out of the carceral system but has been pulled over while driving black. I don't have the luxury of picking one over the other. I love both my brothers, and I'm always going to talk about supporting law enforcement, but I'm always going to be a governor who holds them accountable for doing the right thing by our people. And that answer would be indicative of her responses for the rest of the night. Abrams did not necessarily change any of her policy stances, but she did use the examples of her two brothers and father who sat front row to help her platform resonate with black men. Abrams even said, quote, if the agenda works for black men, it works for everyone. Now, obviously, no group of people is a monolith, but throughout the night, the crowd seemed the most interested in Abrams' positions on economic literacy, affordable housing, Medicaid expansion, and criminal justice. Now, when I interviewed attendees after the event, multiple people brought up how they appreciated her candor in response to the accountability questions. One person I interviewed, who chose to remain nameless, said, quote, before the event, I was skeptical of politicians and their message because generally they make claims they don't follow through on. But after listening to Stacey speak, she essentially guaranteed she would follow up on all of her claims, which I think is perfect, and I'm excited to see what she will do when she gets into the governor's mansion. When discussing cannabis decriminalization, Abrams said she would not decriminalize it in Georgia if it's not done at the federal level first. Her rationale is, enforcement of federal cannabis laws could come at any time, regardless of state laws, and since Georgia is 33% black, Abrams believes this would put the state in the crosshairs of the federal government, more so than states with smaller black population. A person I interviewed, Sam Glover, said this was the answer he appreciated the most, saying, quote, what I like about her is when the topic of marijuana came up, she didn't falter and say, yeah, I'm gonna make a change or whatever. She stood her ground and said if it's still a law, then it's illegal, and I'm not going to be the one to change it. But if it comes up in a meeting or a hearing about a possible change, then I would be for it. And I like that type of honesty. And we won't know until November if this is a winning strategy. So until then, we want to hear from you. What do you think about this strategy? Is it enough to put Abrams over the edge? Let me know any and all thoughts in that comment section down below. Also, don't forget to check out our AJC poll as well. It's linked where everything else is. But while you're down there leaving that carefully worded comment, go ahead and press that subscribe button if you haven't already. Press the like button if you like this video. Share with somebody who needs to know the context. But as always, my name is Joseph, and this is the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in context.